Take it over, Mayor.
No, go on. You come on, Mac.
Mac, we'll be right behind you.
So I asked the citizenry to send me letters, and they moved my stack. I got about 2,000 text messages, emails from citizens. I asked them, how can we help people who are not sick in Houston? And the two big groups they were concerned about were senior citizens and the many, many children who are out of school unexpectedly. So what we're asking the citizens to do is bring non-perishable food items like soup, granola bars, tuna, Ritz crackers, Fig Newtons, my favorite. Bring those out to Gallery Furniture North Freeway or Gallery Furniture Richmond on Highway 99. Bring them out, and we're going to collect non-perishable food items and new unused toiletries. And then we're going to ask the seniors who were locked in, obviously, during this crisis, to call us at 713-694-5570. We're going to ask for lots of volunteers to come out and pick these items up, take them to the seniors' home, and we'll leave them outside on the front doorstep so we won't contaminate that way. But that way, all these seniors who are locked in can get food and toiletries and those type of things. And we're going to partner up with Ronnie Killen. We're going to cook barbecue here every day so the school children who need food can come by and grab a brown paper sack full of barbecue or chicken or something like that with vegetables and take it home. They grab and go. We'll keep the 6-foot social distance space there. So we're going to help out the children and the seniors with your help at Gallery Furniture. We've also got a GoFundMe page to help pay for some of this. That's at galleryfurniture.com. Just push the COVID-19 tab and you'll go right there. So we're looking to help the citizens of Houston as we all pull together like we're so famous for here in Texas to help each other.
Thanks. Look, let me just join in by thanking Mattress Mack again. Time and time again, when we face these challenges, he stepped up. Take the mic. Okay. Time and time again, when we face these major challenges, Mattress Mack has stepped up, and he called and said, look, Mayor, I'm concerned, and I'm hearing a lot of concerns about our senior citizens, which we know is a vulnerable population with this corona crisis. And we know how people are going to the stores, bum rushing the stores, and buying almost everything off the shelves. Well, look, the seniors are not in a position to go there and spend a lot of time in these stores. So this is one way of getting the things that they need to them. People can come, provide the perishable items, bring it right here, and then Mattress Mack and his team and others and volunteers will help to get those perishable items to our seniors, to this vulnerable population. So we don't want to leave them out or forget about them. We want to make it easy for them. And then at the same time, for so many of our children, there are literally hundreds of thousands of our kids in our region that are out. And so working parents are trying to decide what to do, and placing them in daycare is a very expensive proposition. So the GoFundMe page will help many of our working parents to assist in easing the cost for daycare, and that's another population that we want to we don't want to overlook. So look, this is another one of these challenges. What we do know is that when we band together, come together, we can make it work, that we can ease the stress and the strains on so many people, especially seniors and our kids. And look, I want to, Mattress Mack, thank you again. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. And again, to sum it up, hashtag Houston Strong. Congresswoman.
Gives me an opportunity this afternoon to, having come home from Washington and spent hours on the floor putting together the Family First package, to just thank these gentlemen, thank these local officials, thank the mayor if we've been able to watch him online and from Washington, taking command and letting the community know that they're not alone. That's the most important point. And Mattress Mack, I don't know how you do it, but you always seem to come and stand in time of need for people to really know that they're not alone and they really have someone that's thinking about them. This is a phenomenon, a time in our life that is going to get worse before it gets better. I think you've been listening to the prognosis from our top medical officer. We've been on the phone, and what the county and the city have done is they have done something that Mac is now doing. We're not going to panic. We're going to be prepared. And so one of the things that we need to be very much concerned about, as I spoke at 2 churches this morning, and the most deeply listening of those there were our elders, our seniors. And I think we've seen anecdotal stories where seniors have held money outside of a car window so someone could go into the store and buy for them. Mattress Mack has got a very important solution, and that is for all of us who have already bought everything that could be bought can really come together like World War II. That's something people have to read in the history books. When the call was made, the country stood up and they were united. And as the mayor said, we are Houston strong, and frankly, this will be an excellent way that you could come in an orderly manner. Mac's going to have all the equipment and give to these seniors, because it is true. It is true. It is not a hoax. The seniors are the most vulnerable population with a contagious disease that has an elevated fatality over flu. And so I am delighted that this kind of opportunity for people to help each other is important. And then I would say, with respect to the children, first of all, they need to get out of the house safely and securely. And there's nothing more attractive than to come and get a good goodie bag of barbecue, which is Texas tradition. And it just comes to the point of Mattress Mack helping people. That's what we need. No matter what the federal government is doing now, what money we send down here, it will not fill the gap that Mattress Mack is talking about. And I'm just delighted to be here. May come out one day and try to help hand out some things to join you. But we've got to fill in where the federal government's money has not yet reached. And there's no city like Houston and no person like Mattress Mack to working with all of us to make it happen. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Mayor. So call the Gallery Furniture number 713-694-5570 or email us galleryfurniture.com if you're a senior and you need help with non-perishable food or new toiletries. Well, starting late tomorrow afternoon, we'll have the grab and go barbecue here at Gallery Furniture North Freeway. And so we look forward to seeing people coming out and volunteer as Houstonians and Texans do so well. We're famous for being great people to volunteer to help our senior citizens and to help the young children who have been summarily out of school. They're probably happy about it, but it creates a lot of challenges for their parents, certainly. So we're here to help the young and the old in Houston, as Houston always does. We pull together because, as the mayor said, we're Houston strong.
Just one side note, let me just make this announcement. Because so many of our kids are out of school right now, we're going to be closing the Houston Public Libraries for 2 days until Wednesday, because social distancing and spacing is so important. We need to work out how we can make that happen, because we figured that there are probably a number of people that will be coming to our libraries. So until we can work out the logistics, the Houston Public Libraries will be closed to the public until Wednesday, so we can work out the logistics. Thanks. Thanks,
Mayor,
Mattress
can I
Mack.
ask you, I'm sorry, you go on, Mac.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just about the testing
Yes.
and the drive-through locations.
Yes.
What are the plans for that, and will it be starting tomorrow?
Not tomorrow.
Okay.
We're on the testing. We're working through the logistics. There will be multiple locations in Houston, Harris County. The way it's looking now in terms of working out the logistics, it will probably be starting midweek. We'll be fine-tuning some things on Monday, Tuesday, so we'll see how things work at that time. But FEMA is joining with us in providing some of the mobile testing apparatuses. Everything is limited by what we call PPEs, personal protection equipment. You can't scale up unless you have those PPEs for your healthcare providers and first responders and everything else. So we really are needing, and that's just not just in the city of Houston, but across the country, we need more PPEs. But having said all of that, we suspect that there will be more than one locations, multiple, probably in the city and in the county, that will start probably about midweek.
And do you have to have doctor authorization to get that test, or is it just for?
Initially, it would probably require a doctor's order. In addition, I think the preference will also probably be given to first responders, but we're working through those logistics. And then as we scale up, we can do more. But we don't want to overwhelm these centers initially, and we want it to be done in an orderly fashion. But the key is that we're getting started. That's good news, because we need to measure the degree of community spread out within our region, not just the city of Houston, but in the surrounding counties as well.
Mayor, I know things are quickly changing. Has there been any conversations about locking down the city or anything like that?
We're taking, when we're not locking down the city, I think what you will find is that people are being very responsive, and we're being very measured in what we do. You know, we've closed or canceled or rescheduled all large, the large events, and we're, of course, anything that's city sponsored, permitted, approved by the city. We've canceled or rescheduled those events through the end of March. We're asking people to certainly engage in social distancing, social spacing. So many of the larger churches, for example, decided to go online. Your small, medium-sized churches proceeded, and I was at 2 of them today, and they were engaged in social spacing, social distancing. I was very proud of that. People were not handshaking. They were, elbowing, giving a fist pump, or in some cases they were just winking their eye. Didn't mean that they were flirting, but that's, another way of greeting, because we are a very friendly community. So I'm very pleased with that. We're asking even, others, restaurants, other groups, just to recognize, be cognizant of the number of people that are there. But as long as we can engage in the social distancing, spacing, then that's a good sign. This is a highly fluid situation. We evaluate it every single day. Just like on the library situation, that was the decision that was made today, based on what our assessments are. So that's where we are. I think people are getting it, they're understanding it, but the goal is certainly to contain and mitigate, to slow the progression, flatten out the curve, and that's what we're working on.
Could you talk to us about what you would like to see as far as travel, whether it's internationally or domestically?
I'm totally discouraging international travel. This is not the time to engage in international travel. And as you know, that there are thousands of people that are returning back to the country internationally. What I have said is that for people who are returning from international travel, they should self-quarantine for the next 14 days. Most of the people who have been tested positively in the Houston area have that as a result of international travel. And so as people come back to the United States, they need to self-quarantine for 14 days. That's clear, unequivocal quarantine if you're in international travel. For individuals, for example, who are traveling domestically outside of the state of Texas, they need to strongly consider self-quarantine for at least a week if you're traveling outside of the state of Texas. So the travel, that's when you look at the number of cases within our area, the 27, 28, most of them have been that have been found positive related to some form of travel, international traveling, or traveling to New York and coming back. So that's what I'm saying. So for a city employee, for example, if they have engaged in international travel, they must self-quarantine for 14. And then for those who have engaged in domestic travel, especially cruise ships coming back, then they need to seriously consider self-quarantine for 7 days. This is not the time to travel. Stay close and enjoy one another, and smile.
What are the hours that people can drop off donations, Mac? And about how many people do you think you might be able to help?
Oh, they could drop off donations anytime from 8 in the morning till 10 at night. And, we hope to help thousands of people. There's thousands of seniors that are in harm's way going to stores. So we're asking everybody to bring those non-perishable food items and new toiletries out to Gallery Furniture North Freeway and Gallery Furniture Richmond on Highway 99. And we'll get lots of volunteers to take them out and leave them on the doorstep. So we hope to help thousands of senior citizens. And we also hope to feed lots of young people some delicious barbecue out here as well.
I just want to say that this is the way the community can really galvanize, and I've seen Mattress Mack be at the center of galvanizing the community. So I hope we hear an opportunity for, even though we're social distancing, I hope we hear an opportunity for the community to come together. I just wanted to comment on the major crowds that are in the designated airports. I'm reaching out to the Secretary of Homeland Security. That obviously is not an acceptable way for returning citizens to come. And so we're hoping in the next couple of days we'll have more staffing and better logistics because in actuality it is creating, in essence, a hazardous circumstances by the overcrowding and the lack of distancing. But the other part of it, what the mayor's made a very important point, when people land initially in their first destination for the United States coming from overseas, some people think that's all they need to do. They will then go on to their final destination. And their final destination is where they can put people in most jeopardy. And so just landing in Chicago and then coming on to Houston, you haven't rid yourself of the problem by landing in Chicago and being tested by thermometer testing, temperature testing, and you're finished. It is very important for you to self-quarantine once you get to your home location for 14 days, because you may not have tested then, but you've been out of the country and it may test 2 days later, 3 days later, or not at all. But it's very important for that not to be the final assessment of whether or not you need to self-quarantine.
And Mayor, there's been talk, I think perhaps in Europe, the bars and clubs that attract large crowds have been shut down. Is there any thought of implementing anything like that here?
You know, what we are attempting to do here, and we're learning from other places across the country and across the globe, is that we have attempted to contain and mitigate early. Okay, we haven't waited until there are, 50 cases in the Houston area. Right now in the city of Houston, there are 5 confirmed cases. But we're not waiting until that number is 20 or 30 or 40. We are taking steps right now to contain and mitigate and slow down the progression. So there are steps where we have learned from what others were slow to do. We're doing that right now. All of the schools are closed, for example, for the rest of this month. All of the city-sponsored events are closed till the rest of this month. Major conventions closed, are rescheduled. So we have taken some substantial steps. People are already shying away from large crowds. They're doing that already, and we're monitoring that on a daily basis. At the same time, bear in mind, we're walking a very delicate balance. You have working parents. They still need to work. They still need to pay their bills, okay? To their mortgage, their rent, take care of their families. So it's a very delicate balance that we are trying to strike. And we're being very measured, very measured in our approach. And that's why we are saying to people, let's be very sensitive to everyone else. Unlike the hurricane, when the hurricane came, we could look at the radar and we knew when it was coming, when it was going to land, and when it was going to leave. This is far different. This is different. And so it's a crisis, it's a challenge that we are facing, but we're going to have to pace ourselves. And what we are seeing is that we are cutting back substantially, and we're trying to contain and mitigate, and we're trying to slow the progression. And then it's my hope that with the warmer climate that things will fare better. We don't know yet, but we're hoping that will take place. And at the same time, we're trying to ease people's fear and anxiety, because I would tell you my greatest concern right now is not necessarily the virus, the COVID-19, but is that we allow the fear and the anxiety to take over our lives. So we don't want that to happen, because we'll do more damage to ourselves. But let's be measured. We're taking it very seriously. We're looking at and assessing this stuff every single day. But at the same time, and that's why I appreciate Mattress Mack, we still have to take care of one another. We still have to take care of our seniors. That's the most vulnerable population, are our seniors. They're the ones who are really taking it on the chin. And so we need to take care of them. We need to make sure that they get the food and the substance that they need to take care of our kids, a lot of them out of school. And then there are a lot of working parents that can't afford daycare, and so the GoFundMe page will really help them. So those are the things that we are trying to do. And then if we do that, and then if you allow me to say this, and if we remain prayerful, we'll come through it.
Mayor,
I'm
sorry.
No, I was done.
Can you speak to, you touched on some of the panic that's happening, particularly those who are rushing to the stores, clearing out the shelves. Can you kind of address to those people, maybe calm their fears or what they should be doing?
Well, people, the anxiety level is here, and people are rushing to the stores. But the message that I want to say to individuals, it's one thing when you know that a hurricane is approaching, like Hurricane Harvey. So you rush into the stores and buying things and storing it away, and then the storm will pass. This is different. This is not the same type of challenge, and so you can't treat it and respond to it like a hurricane. This is one where we have to pace ourselves. And if you end up spending, all of your money buying everything on the shelf right now, 2 weeks from now you may need that extra money. You'll have all the toilet paper, but you'll need something else, and your money is gone. So that doesn't make any sense. So, and then what about first responders and healthcare? And I want people to think about this one. We have first responders who are working all times of the day, police and fire and others. You have healthcare providers that are attending to people, doing the tests, attending to people who have been tested positively. They're working all times of the day. When the first responders and the healthcare providers get off work, and then they go to the store, and the shelves are empty. But we're asking them to be on the front line while the rest of us run scared and buy up everything else. That's unfair to them. That's really unfair to them. So let's take a collective breath, let's take a collective breath. Let's pace ourselves, and let's be sensitive and mindful that we're all in this fight together. And that's why I say, hashtag Houston Strong. Now, I know all of those people that are going in and hoarding the food, they are not from Houston. So Houstonians, tell those who have come from outside of Houston how we operate. Because I know they're not Houstonians going in there and hoarding the food. That's not us. That's not who we are. They are visitors, okay? So let's settle down. I never divorced myself of my own faith. I'm not going to do that now. So this is one time we just need to believe in one another, and just know that we will get through this. As my mom would say, this day too shall pass, and we'll be okay.
Well said.
Do you want to wrap up? Do you have a closing statement?
But give it to this guy. I can't thank him. Can't thank him enough.
So once again, we're asking Houstonians and Texans to bring out non-perishable food items, such as these right here, to Gallery Furniture North Freeway, Gallery Furniture Richmond, and new toiletries. We're going to ask senior citizens to call us at 713-694-5570, or go to galleryfurniture.com and send us an email. And we're going to ask for volunteers starting tomorrow to carry these non-perishable food items and toiletries out to the seniors who are locked in during this crisis. We're also going to be serving grab-and-go sack lunches starting tomorrow afternoon. So if the children that are out of school need food, they can come by Gallery Furniture North Freeway and get a grab-and-go lunch. So lots of activity, and Houstonians are great about Texans rally around to help their neighbors. And my health tip is get more sleep, and I know where you get a good mattress.
And you get to jump on it. Thank you.
Thank you, man. I like that. That's a good help too.
So not to be flippant about this, but I guess would toilet paper also be accepted?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Seniors need it. Yes.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, that was good.
All